Okay. There you go.
Great.
You can officially start with it.
Well, thank you. It's nice to see everyone. We'll start with reviewing the minutes from our last meeting, which was May. The title says the 14th and the date on the minutes says the 16th. So we should see which one it actually is. It is the 16th. So that's correct. Are there any edits?
Minutes?
No.
I think I wrote them,
I think you did.
so have to be perfect.
Yes, the only thing I'm seeing is on number 4 to add an E to Lillian's name.
Okay.
But otherwise, they look great, and thank you for taking the minutes.
So roll call vote. So to approve the minutes, what were the official dates?
Thursday, May 16th.
To approve the minutes of the
No, these are the minutes for May 16th.
minutes from May 16th.
So, motion to approve?
Motion to approve?
Sure, I'll make the motion.
So,
Great.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Hello,
Hey.
welcome.
hey,
I have areas here.
So we have Vivian joining us.
We'll give you just a moment. We just reviewed and approved the minutes from.
Which I was not at,
May 6th.
so I couldn't have approved anyway.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda is our membership. And so right now it's the 4 of us in the room plus Lillian.
Yeah.
So I think we're discussing new members and also if anyone's term is up, if you're planning to renew.
Yeah, I plan to renew.
Okay. My term is up and at this point, I am thinking I probably won't because I
Can I say?
have a lot going on. But I can, I haven't talked to Lillian about it. Sorry, Lillian, if you're watching. So, I'm sort of still considering, but probably won't. So, no. So has anyone talked to anyone who might be interested in joining? I know you're doing a lot with Complete Streets and that's sort of a spin-off.
This was the last month or so. It's been-
Oh, okay.
I don't think anybody around.
Okay,
Yeah, there's still wants to go.
Yeah.
That process.
okay.
I'll talk to Paul down the road for me, see if he wants to reconsider, because I think he's been interested in the past.
Which Paul?
Paul.
Clifton?
Clifton.
Wait, okay. That'd be great. Okay.
Anybody else that way there?
Who are you shooting for? 5, 6?
Yeah, I think somewhere in there.
Yeah, I think the most we've had is 6.
Well, at one point with all the different subcommittees, I think we had like 7 or 8. Because we had that school subcommittee and then it was, Dana was here and we sort of had ballooned and needed to.
Yeah.
And I think the other piece of it is just what is the ongoing work? And are there certain skill sets, people who are interested in that work? So we can keep talking about that. I think Lillian had a couple of ideas as well.
I'm gonna go across this family moved in, about a year now, almost 2 years maybe, across the street from me.
Hmm.
And I know he, especially, he's still kind of does work, you know, at home. She's. I'll give her a talk and see what she was. She's very bubbly. She's good.
That's great.
So
Okay,
Run it by her and see what she thinks.
perfect. I think it's a good committee if you haven't, done any town volunteering. It's a really good kind of first foray and
Yes.
to get to know a lot of different pieces of the town and
Yep.
interface with people. So I think
And I think once we get more people in, we'd be able to volunteer to the other committees more as well, to take on some of the things that they haven't got time to research themselves as well.
yes,
But with just a limited number, that would be difficult.
that's right. All right, anything more on membership?
I think if we'll volunteer to just ask around and try and do the first interviews and give them an overview of what the meeting committee is on there. But it's not too taxing. It's not like a planning board or anything or a select board. It's quite a nice research based one, really. Is if you like looking up things and researching things, it'd be a good candidate.
Yeah,
It's open to all sorts of different things.
yeah, I can shift in different directions.
Mhm.
All right, do you want to give us a safety?
Yeah. So we are, we're basically in the initial process, if you want to call it that. And which is basically becoming part of the complete streets process. And we're figuring out the policy and basically it's the overall start of, tying into the state, basically. And figuring out, how we, go about trying to do what we want to do eventually, get what we're looking for to get eventually. So there's a master plan that we need to be able to put together with a vision portion of what do we see generally, what's needed. And Lily is, pretty much really heavy on traffic and safety. That's basically what this is all about, pretty much, is trying to get.
Can I ask you a question on that? Did we get the results from the pressure tubes that they had out on there for the numbers? I don't think I saw that.
That hasn't come in, not all of it has come in yet. Okay, those details is what's we're just starting to get into now.
Okay.
And what was that from the
pressure sensors
The
for
sensor, yeah.
like the traffic count at various
Traffic
locations.
counts,
I think it
all of
was 3 locations, I think it was.
for the traffic. I think it's 4 actually.
Yeah.
We include the one over here, this strip here. But we're pulling all that together now.
Right.
The rough information is out over the summer. But now at the point where we're trying to pull that into a proposal eventually. But first, before we do all that, we've got to basically finish the structure of the whole process, the complete streets process. Which we're pretty well finishing up. We're looking pretty good. In fact, it's at the select board now for the final.
Great, okay.
For reviewing. Hopefully it'll come back ready to roll. So once that, basically what that does is it's a structure to be able to now work with the state. Basically, and where the money would be coming from to do what we want to do. And we're starting to get into that process now. And that means including, applying for a MAST grant. I forget what MAST means for, but it's basically a grant to be able to start looking to get funds. There's a bucket up there
in concrete.
and, yeah, that, you know, is being, you know, basically takes people who actually just people or groups, you know, send money to take care of things that the state needs, some of these things, including safety places, you know, especially those places for making the roads safer.
Yeah.
So we're not getting into that process now to apply for this grant. And that would be providing funds to, quote, make the road safer. You know, the details of it, that's what we're working on now. You know, do we have signs? Do we have counts? We've already done one count, actually, already. Coming up with what we as a group are thinking that we should be able to start with. This is the start of a basis. This stuff that anything happens would be happening next year. But it's once we get started, then you know we can check in every year. You know, and say, okay, this is what we want to do this.
Kind of piecemeal it out.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then that's just this project. There could be other places with this.
I noticed there was meeting 5 on the list, but I didn't see any notes. Has that meeting 5 happened, or did that one get stalled? Or
The which meeting?
there was for the complete streets. It said there's 4 agendas down here and 4 sets of notes.
Yeah.
But there's one just 5 agenda, but there's no notes to it. I was wondering.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
What that is. We had a meeting a couple of months ago, a month and a half ago.
I didn't see a date on it on the
It was
website.
a visit from some of the states, people who basically work on these things.
Yeah.
And they are going, you know, they basically gave us the overall, you know, it was basically invited them and they actually came here. And
Wasn't that was a forum, wasn't it?
it's a forum,
Yeah.
yes, forum, these guys,
Mhm.
and woman.
Mhm.
Right.
And were there actually 2 forums, or was it just the one? There was one recently, like, no, I couldn't come because I was out of town.
Right.
There's a highway garage forum recently.
Yeah, I realized that, but I thought there was,
Complete streets.
Yeah, I think this was.
This is a while ago.
Yeah.
yeah, okay, all right.
It's like end of the summer, early September kind of timing. Was your forum,
Was
the
Yeah.
complete streets? No, the last
the
one.
last one, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
So anyway, those details we're working on now. The idea of, you know, if everything's okay in the first phase. Showing the vision and all
Yeah.
that we can go ahead and. We have to have it in by the end of this month
Okay.
for what we're looking to do. So there's a lot going back and forth.
And are you getting good feedback from the community? Like, are people supportive, or they're like
Mostly supportive,
different
yeah.
strains,
Yeah.
thoughts?
We haven't had much in the way of. We haven't been able to get the details.
Okay,
But
it's
the
not
first
been created
version, that's something we're basically
because you have to have that
The town.
framework
yeah,
in order to
exactly.
be able to get to the
That's
details
what
with money.
that's what
Okay.
but once we get, hopefully within the next. By beginning of next year, that we'll have the results of. What we'd sent in, and see if we get what we're looking for.
Okay.
But that's being sent out. It's just, I say, it's due at the end of the month, so it's right now. We'll only come back next week, I think. Probably we're going together again, so I think. To wrap up the details. Okay. You know, in general thing, what we're looking at, we're not looking for anything really big right now. You know, signs, like markings, the roadways. One of them is to do what they call fog lights, or some sort of fog lines. They're basically white stripes, white stripes, each side of the road.
Like to mark the
To
shoulder.
define, to mark the shoulders and everything.
Yeah.
And the idea is just do that from here right to the.
Hmm.
Westwood. Mainly,
Yeah, because I think that's where most people,
that's where all the things.
yeah, and that's where most people have the complaints, I think, about, for whether it's
Because
be
it's a
speed,
cut through.
parking, and all that, because it cut through, wasn't it, to, yeah, to one of the companies, big company, yeah.
But there's a, you know, there's some signs coming into when you're in the village now, or coming into town.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
Mhm.
Maybe, you know, we've been looking into getting lights or something.
Mhm.
It's not, you know, there's nothing like the really expensive ones. But we are, you know, looking at signs that have some sort of light on them.
Mhm.
I know that we're looking, they're not taking any pictures or anything like that, but
Yeah.
it has something going on, just to slow people down, especially at night.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay,
Well, anyway, that's what's
great.
Okay.
coming together pretty quick.
And I see the radar grant has been postponed,
Yes,
partnership with the police
Yes.
department, no new update there.
see if it's in the department, police department. Yeah, we're talking, it's pretty expensive.
Okay,
We're talking tens of thousands.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So,
Is that the one that Bill is working on select board as well? He's the interface, I think.
working on what?
I thought Bill was one of the interfaces to the police, talking about
Yes,
that,
yes.
yeah.
Yes, yeah, that wasn't that. That, you know, that's something that we'd like to see at some point in time, but maybe something in the next step,
Mhm.
because it's very, talking very big money.
Okay,
Well, it's also the number of police counts as well. I mean, they haven't got that much staff really down that way, so it comes into that. I think that's what they're helping to try and fund is an extra, at least one extra officer, so that then they could, coverage
Yeah.
more on that.
Mhm. Okay. And are you working at all with the highway garage folks, or these are sort of separate?
No, it's,
Okay,
I did go to the meeting the other night, it was interesting,
okay,
but got into a little bit of a tuss.
oh, as one might expect
Right?
with that topic.
Right, but they were there to just focus on it.
Okay,
You know, and there were some people, couple that were pushing to pull it out and, you know, what it's gonna be for the whole town and this kind of thing, but there's other things to do and all that. But
yeah,
really, that's what's not. What they were supposed to do is, you know, figure out, you know, what they do, what would happen, what we could do for the year. Yeah, that was it, that was.
I saw a little bit of the plan, so I wasn't able to make that, but I saw a little bit of the plan at the Harvest Festival. They did have
yeah, there are like
Yeah.
4 different versions.
versions, that's right.
Yeah.
Right,
And they have reached out a couple of times, just recognizing that the CAC started the charrette, which like kind of had,
That triggered.
and so they would, if we are interested in engaging with them in any way, I think there's a, like, to that, like kind of as a, like how, you know, and like I noted that they didn't have any lighting plans, and they said, well, that's something that came out of the charrette, like that would be kind of separate. So they said, if the CAC is interested, you know, that they're very willing to partner, or that they can keep doing their own thing, so.
Yeah.
They have reached out. So,
well, I don't know, if you there?
I couldn't go.
There was. There is a lot going on, other things as well. And this is what got tapped into, and they kind of got out on a twist here.
yeah,
Where these guys were basically, this is what they were supposed to, looking at this here. But yes, there's a few things out there that are all, you know, the whole thing where the
The septic system.
septic system is done. No, I'm thinking more of the whole.
Oh.
Where is if it's going to move,
Oh, yeah.
you know, if this is going to move, you know, how does that affect things?
mhm,
There's also talk about the police. The
the
garage,
fire department.
the garage,
Oh.
yeah, the fire. And two, maybe looking for at least a place to change where the documents go, I guess, some of the time.
Yeah.
It's,
So that's a whole bigger thing,
yeah,
which wasn't part of the map that I saw at the Harvest Festival. Got it.
there's a few of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should be looking at, so I don't know. Interesting.
Mhm. All right. We went on a little tangent. Well, do you have anything else for safety? Okay, so subcommittees, Keith, anything on the AV equipment?
Yeah, there's been a couple of glitches lately, and it's mainly due to if power is turned off for any length of time, the mini computers don't reboot sometimes automatically. So I've had to educate people on how to open up the cabinet or go in and actually,
Oh,
how to restart it, so to speak.
okay.
That happened the other day. I think it was Bruce had called to help with the planning board ones, but we got it working just one time on that.
What kicked it out, you know? What kicked it out?
No idea. That's the problem. There's no log file to tell you things like that. So, but what I'm trying to do is about once every 2 weeks, sometimes it stretches a bit more, to actually come in and actually do all the updates and check to see if there's anything strange happening with any of the systems. And I'm still looking for somebody to be my backup as well. I haven't found a volunteer yet, so. So I think Rob said at one time, but I'm not sure if he's got the time. Now it's telling me that. So that's, I know where it goes.
That's coming from wife.
So, no, I mean, I don't mind doing it on there, but it would be nice if we can find somebody to back up.
Yeah.
It doesn't take much time. It's usually about a couple of hours.
I can ask
You have
at
to
our
do the updates.
rec meeting, because I know Eb is somebody who's pretty
Dan-
savvy and.
Dan at one
And
time
Dan,
offered,
Well,
which I
no,
think
it's,
he's,
I will say from rec standpoint, it's really good to have our people knowledgeable.
so yeah, if anybody wants
So
to read
I
out
will
the system as well.
Put that on my agenda for next week.
But if anybody wants to contact me for a run through on the equipment as well, I can do that,
Mhm.
which we need to do occasionally with all the committees, because several committees don't even use it, which is a shame really for the money that was invested. So, but I'm available for that. Other than that, there's been no failure of equipment. They're glitches or anything else, and something that even the people who installed it, you wouldn't blame them for it really.
I mean, things happen,
Exactly.
it's technology.
Yeah. It's like anytime there's somebody used to call me up and say they got a problem, the first thing I'd ask them, did you reboot your computer?
Yep. Yep,
Solves-
I couldn't get the heat going on in the town hall for music group, and Billy's always in here, and the
Turn it off, shut it back on.
emergency switch needed to be turned on.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I came in here and it was toasty warm, and I was like, well, heat must be okay, and he says, it's because we're running that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was the old turn the switch off.
Yeah. That's right. Oh, well.
Oh, yeah. I think about it in my own house, but I didn't think about it here.
Somebody might have turned it off for the summer,
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
it's sensible, but
Yeah.
yeah,
for safety aspect.
sure.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised that it hadn't been necessary to turn it on,
I don't know.
but anyway.
We like this wood fire the other night because it got a bit chilly. So.
That's frost.
Yeah, it was
Hard frost this morning. Yeah.
It's 27 when I left.
I think up to the end of the week, beginning of next week, we'll be up to 70 something.
That's right.
Cause that's where we're at.
On the welcome booklet, shall we go to the next?
Sure.
I did find it on the website, but I have to send another email. I sent one to Carol via the website because the search engine doesn't let you really search things well on the website. And if you search for welcome booklet, it's not there, because if you look at the real title of the book, of the item. It's called the ABCs. I think.
ABC.
So I think welcome is in the title, but it's ABC's booklet first.
Mhm.
So if you tell people to go and look for the welcome, and they're not going to find it.
Yeah.
So I think, was it Linda with Christine who's doing that?
Linda and
With-
Holly.
Holly. Okay. So we need to get a note out to them as well for working with Carol to get some clarification or a link, you know, to have welcome in there.
Well,
having-
so I have some additional information there.
Yeah.
So they were updating it. Linda sent me this email at the beginning of September. And they were trying to get it finished in time for the Harvest Festival, the
Right.
new updated version.
Yes.
So I don't know if the new updated version is up on the website yet. She said they wanted to finish the hard copy and the three ring binders
Yes.
before they put it up on the website.
She said,
So I think that's the piece, you know, to check in with them, because then there's some other language that it's like, we will update this in the fall of 2023. And so,
I think those updates were done because I downloaded it and I checked.
Oh.
Because I'd asked about our goat farm. And I think that now appears in there.
Oh, okay.
And she only did the update from what we told her at the Harvest Festival. So I
Okay.
think,
Yeah, because we had the same thing.
yeah. So
okay.
I think it's just a confusion on the naming convention and getting Carol to have some better way of helping people find it.
Right,
I mean, it's great having one at the library and at the convenience store and that, but a lot of people are going to want to download it really.
Oh, yeah,
So,
yeah.
right. And then, so then there's also the question of, there was a donor who had offered to print it
yes,
for new residents.
yeah,
But I think since that offer was made, the welcome booklet has gotten significantly longer to where it would, I mean, it's like yellow pages.
it makes a
instead
noise
of-
now when you drop it. Yeah,
Yeah, so Linda was saying, like, do they need to do a truncated version that could be printed, which sounds like a lot of work, both to create and then to keep updated. So I think that, you know, maybe we do, like, if there was a welcome committee that was, you know, sort of new people to town, like maybe we have a resource pamphlet and direct them to the website versus
yes.
printing that entire
Yes.
thing or something. Okay, so
And
I
I
am,
think if they then have any questions, could we create an email address where they could send it in and somebody on the CAC could answer the questions for them, really?
Mhm.
Because I don't think it'd be that many questions, but it'd be nice if there was an email address.
Mhm,
And then we can refer to that and we can guide them back to that.
right. Yeah, I mean, we could do like welcome@templenh.org
Yeah.
or something,
Yeah.
and maybe that just redirects to the CAC, like the same place, because I think right now, like, it would come to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Yeah, that should be redirected.
That's how we'll keep you engaged.
I think I have signed up for the broadband email for the next 18 years.
Okay,
So,
there you go.
We could guide it to Lillian, but she's not here.
yeah, we'll just vote her in. Anyone make a motion?
Yes.
No. Just joking, Lillian. No, I think that's a good idea, and
I mean, I don't mind fielding those
in
questions.
in theory, at some point, I would be willing to create like you know, like it would be nice to have a little welcome bag or something, like maybe it's something we could get some funds from the 250th anniversary. But, you know, like do something nice that we could give to new residents. That is not something I would even be able to think about taking on until next year at some point. So I think if anyone else feels the inspiration. don't let
There
me
have
hold
been
you back.
those efforts in the past, especially with Ladies Aid.
I was
and it's
wondering.
really, it's a matter of managing it and how does it continue
Mhm.
to keep going. I mean, I remember the business booklet and was like when we had phones in our houses, landlines. A really cool business directory. And actually, I think we had all townspeople in it.
Wow.
It was the thing
That's it.
it was the thing to have in your house
Really?
for all of the local phone numbers.
Hmm.
So there was that, and then there was the business directory kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of morphed, it's had its life, and then it goes away because, you know, it's just, it's a very, it's pretty time intensive.
Yeah. Well, and I think,
And it's like somebody can do it who's not involved in anything else, but that's
Right.
the only thing, and then.
yeah, it's constant updates. And, you know, I also, like, there is the nice thing about having a print thing, but then like information, as soon as it's printed, becomes out of date. So like, should it actually be an online resource that people could,
Update, yeah.
you know, and a PDF is great, but for accessibility and searchability, there's some downsides to a PDF. So, you know, but having like a whole like website or microsite or something is, I think that's like a bigger beast than a town of our size could really
Yeah,
handle.
couldn't justify it really.
Right.
I'm not sure if Carol would have the time.
No, we would have to give her another, you know, 10 or 20 hours a week.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
Sometimes it's better just to look. If you get 90%, 95% of what we're working.
Yeah.
that's fine, you know,
Yeah.
The
Mhm.
details, you work themselves out and it's good.
that's right.
But again, I think if they can just notify on the Facebook page as well, just to remind people, I think we'll just, I'll have a chat with
Mhm.
Linda. And so to see about that.
So I think that action items on this are, first of all, to thank Linda and Holly for doing this extraordinary amount of work.
Yeah.
I can send them each a note. And then
This is Linda.
Linda Bollinger and Holly Salerno. I think.
Salerno, yeah.
Yep.
She was all happy just be able to go through the Blood Barnes
Oh, yeah.
and see what you can see. Really, she was very, very up on it.
Yeah.
Happy doing it.
Um,
Took a couple of years.
Yeah. So, and then I think, will you work on the website language, just looking at, you know, if you're already kind of combing through the website?
Yes,
I-
I was going to contact Carol to see how she would like the information presented to her, because as I said, when I found one or two things like that, when I looked further, there was at least 5 broken links as well. So I can spend a couple of hours at some time just going through and just
Okay.
list it, and then I'll put them in an order of priority.
Okay,
And so, Carol, when you got time, you know.
if you can chip away at these,
Yeah, and if I can find the correct link, I'll see if I can send them
Okay.
as well.
that's great. And the email that I very quickly read that you sent me earlier today about the welcome booklet,
Yeah.
it referenced like some very old information, so you'll,
We need to take that out.
Okay.
Or actually get them to update the page on that, so.
okay,
Can you send me their email addresses for the welcome one, and that way then I can include them on the email and work with Carol.
so I am just forwarding you an email that they wrote, because their emails are here.
Okay,
And then you will have Linda's very detailed explanation. Or she was on August 29th.
now, did Carol change her, I think she's got 2 email addresses for the website.
Oh,
What is the correct one?
I just always use Webmaster.
Just webmaster, okay. Okay.
Okay, and then I think the last action item, which is also for me, is to touch base with the donor and just kind of close that loop to see what they'd like to do, you know, if they want to go in a different direction, if, you know, but I'll just touch base.
One of the ladies might be able to give you a budget as well, for how much it costs them for the copies
The
they did
printing.
get. At least
Yes.
then we'll have something to go back to the donor with. So,
Yeah. And Linda and Holly did pay for the printing themselves for the Harvest Festival, because they didn't get the 250th anniversary fund application in time, and they really wanted it to be done, so they, not only was it sweat equity, but they also paid for this significant amount of printing, so
Yeah.
they really went above and beyond.
Yeah, it was worth just recognizing them.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Is it, I mean, would it be appropriate to get them like a small gift card as a thank you, or just write a note, like I don't,
Who's the best person who's in charge of the committee to ask them what the appropriate method is to request that to be signed off? So it might have to be signed off by
I guess
Bill
I,
Zell or somebody.
well, I think if I bought it, then the co-chair would have to sign,
Yes,
so maybe I should just talk to Lillian and see what she
Yeah.
thinks.
yeah.
And then if Lillian's okay with it, what would we think, like either to the Birchwood or to Ben's, or what do we think? I'm thinking something like smallish, but.
Yeah.
Gift certificate to them. It's the Ben's.
To Ben's,
I think Ben's is a better choice.
okay.
Do they get 10% off as well?
Five.
Oh, 45, that's right.
Okay.
And that goes back.
Yeah.
How much do you think they spent on the printing?
Well, if it's like 200 pages and it's staples, I mean, often it's like in black and white, probably 50 cents a page. I mean, I'm guessing they spent 150 at least.
So maybe $50 each.
Yeah, I mean, it is taxpayer money, maybe like 25.
Okay.
I think it's a gesture.
Yes, yeah,
Would we feel
Yeah,
comfortable
that
with 25 each? Okay.
yes.
Mhm.
I'll touch base with Lillian. Okay. Um. Wonderful. And then, so other business. Getting more people to sign up for the e-news. I think that's really Lillian's piece. So let's table it until she's back,
Yeah.
unless anyone has an update there.
No, I think last time we'd suggested just another note on Facebook and also word of mouth, basically. Yeah,
Okay.
I did have copies of like a form to put your email address on. The first time we used it was at the craft fair in May. And Lillian gave me one that was ready to print, and I printed it out and we had it there. There was a couple people that did request or put their emails on. So the idea with that is to send them an email with the link, and that's what I did.
Thank you.
So I personally did that, but
Okay.
it was only like a couple.
Yeah.
I had it out again at Harvest Festival at our table, the contest table. But it's kind of weird, you know, because it is a lot of traffic. So actually, having that in a way that people really understood that that's what it was for is another step.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's just not usually the people stopping, especially at the contest table, except to look at the vegetables, you know, to really find out what all the papers are.
Okay.
But it has given me thought to how best to get that word out and came up again, as a matter of fact, at the school open house, because I'm on the school committee. And so we were there to give information about some expenses and stuff like that people have been interested in. And that was a little bit hard to get people to stop by, because it was really, they were there for their open house and looking in the rooms. But we were able to manage to talk to a couple of people in particular, and one just came to me with that because it's kind of maybe easy to assume that in our world today that, you know, a lot of people are doing, you know, the technology on Facebook and stuff like that, and, not quite so, we still have a very diverse social media.
Yeah.
And, how they engage, how people engage with the, so I think it's really important. Yeah. So, not too sure how to get the word out. One in particular that I thought about that was, a way to, pass that word along from maybe another parent or something that is on the, what is it called? Not the PTO, it's the
PTT.
yeah, something like that, yeah. So that word can just get out there. And for anybody that's really wanting to know about other meetings in town, however that goes. So anyway,
Well, next time on the temple webpage, I don't think we've seen that announced on anything else, so I can always put a note out there, just to remind people.
yeah. I would say, look for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Other,
I think, that's the end of our agenda. Is there how do we all feel about, this is the first year we have not had a CAC table at the Harvest Festival in a while.
Mhm.
Was anyone really missing standing at a table?
oh,
Or
no,
do you feel like?
I
there
was
was
standing at a table.
I know you were at a different table. And that's part of the reason why we didn't, because other people are kind of pulled in different directions, so. Just
Well,
wanted-
there's that, and also there was not really such a strong initiative
Right, currently,
currently.
well, it's also changed as well, whereas it used to have like goods that people had made themselves.
Mhm.
It's got very commercial where it's like a lot of
It's
things.
very all-inclusive.
Yes,
Mhm.
and so it's gone away from the way that traditionally it was set up as well. So I think those changes have had an effect too.
yeah, it was a lovely day.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was. It was.
It
and it
threatened rain in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
was good traffic, good foot
Mhm.
traffic, and well attended.
Yes,
And I think too that there are some changes in the, the coordination of it. And then even when it comes to the craft tables and stuff like that, so. I think continuing to be supportive and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And having directed it for 10 years, I can tell you that was always a sticky point, who are we gonna have? How many food vendors? You don't want somebody in there to compete with the school. Yeah, it was just,
Yeah.
Oh, it must be.
and the fire department.
it was always
Yeah,
in those. So,
I think the band has always been appreciated.
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
and
and-
Michael Ordway, who comes and
Yeah.
sings
Yeah.
for a couple of hours, I noticed he was at the New Ipswich Fair like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
just a delight.
You have to take your hat off to people who take the time out to do that.
Yeah. And he's been doing that ever since I was directing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because he's been doing it for a long time.
that's great.
Randy was having the children stuffing their face with the fruit pies and all. as
Oh,
well.
yeah, I think Eli won.
Oh, he did?
really?
Yeah,
Did he?
he takes great pride, 2 years in a row. No, last year somebody else beat him, but it was a teenager, so it wasn't really fair.
But it is fun to see them help doing that
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah, and I brought back the hay bale toss this year.
Oh, fun.
So, and I was wrong because I thought Miriam was there and I
Oh.
misplaced a face. So I know. Trying to still figure that out, but anyway, I thought I had you guys nailed down. But it was so much fun to reintroduce that.
That's great. Good. All right, well,
I can't think of anything else.
I'm sorry, something is
So,
getting
motion to adjourn?
So.
second.
Yes.
Did you make the motion?
Yes.
Okay, and you seconded?
Yep.
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. 7:45.
And that was